For the 49ers and Lions, throwback uniforms further underscored the feeling that their best days are behind them.
Getting ready to rock and roll a little bit. See if we could throw back, have a repeat of Dallas game in these uniforms.
It's throwback, baby. We're going to throw them right on back to San Francisco, baby. It's on. It's on live. The Lions going to roar today, baby. The Lions going to roar. You watch it, baby.
Rest it up.
What it's all about, man. You guys are starters. We're starting this thing, man. We're all together. We're going to knock our ass off together.
San Francisco came out flat and got flattened by the Lions. It was obvious why Steve Young didn't enjoy hanging out at the Silverdome.
We done knocked the style of that quarterback twice, you got it? So the throws are going to be a lot of 90s. So be ready to get your push and get your hands up in the air, okay?
The Lions jumped out to a 14-0 advantage.
Down 8 from the Niner 33, no score. Under 8 minutes left. Double pumping, Mitchell going long, out there, Perriman, caught, touchdown Lions!
The 49ers were dizzied by Scott Mitchell and dazzled by Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, stutter step to the outside, gets the corner 5, touchdown! Barry Sanders, holy mackerel, what a run!
When you look at Barry Sanders run the football and you see him do the amazing thing, run after run, sometimes you just got to look to the heavens and say, wow.
But with Detroit poised for another upset, San Francisco went from throwback to comeback. The 49ers surged ahead as rookie William Floyd and Ricky Waters combined for 3 rushing touchdowns.
And off to Waters, sweeping outside, needs to cut, decides to go outside, scores for San Francisco, and the 49ers within an extra point of tying it up. Herman Moore is the wide receiver to the left, and Mitchell's looking for him downfield, and it's going to be easily picked by Hank. He's back to the 30, cuts in the middle of the field to the 20, he's to the 15, he's to the 10, he's down to the 6-yard line. First and goal, 49ers. He heads back toward the right side. They give it to Floyd. He pounds away. It looks like he got there. Yes, touchdown 49ers.
For the 49ers, winning was supposed to be as simple as finding incense in the Haight-Ashbury. But so far, Steve Young and his struggling mates have learned some hard lessons.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing easy around here. Nothing.
It doesn't figure to get any easier against Atlanta this Sunday. Even in a friendly game of fish, it's always shrewd to keep an eye on the dealer. Inside the Georgia Dome, Falcons fans kept both eyes riveted on quarterback Jeff George as he did a little dealing of his own.
George to throw, deep down the far sideline, it's Andre Rison's got it, touchdown! Andre Rison!
The cards were on the table early, and the beleaguered Buccaneers could do nothing but read them and weep.
George going to throw. Deep ball down for Terrence Mathis. Got it at the 4. He'll take it in the end zone for a touchdown.
At 4-2, the Falcons are the sleeper of the NFC West and battle the 49ers this week for division supremacy.
A guy sleeping at an Atlanta football game? I can't believe that.
In a fitting tribute to Lawrence Taylor, defense ruled the Vikings and Giants Monday night game. Unfortunately for New York, it was Minnesota's defense that dominated. Taylor had his number retired at halftime, but game time found Warren Moon retiring the Giants. Moon had another explosive outing, while for the second week in a row, New York quarterback Dave Brown self-destructed, throwing an interception for a touchdown.
Rashid, along with Hampton in the backfield. Back goes Brown. Cox's arm fires and picked off by Parker. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Vikings!
Brown and the Giants hope to return to their early season form this week against the Rams. Injury-prone Chris Miller returned as the starting quarterback for Los Angeles and came out gunning with 2 first-half touchdown tosses to tight end Troy Drayton. The Packers answered with 21 unanswered points, learning sometimes you have to crawl before you can run.
Robert Brooks is going to have to grab this one at the 16. Comes back to the 20, through the 25, to the 30, to the outside 35, around the corner at the 40. He might go.
Robert Brooks' punt return helped spark the Packers' rally.
Oh, what a run by Brooks. 84 yards on the return.
Edgar Bennett scored following a lead block by number 25, Dorsey Levens, which sent the Rams' Todd Light, number 41, into order.
Edgar Bennett, good hole on the right side.
Back on earth, the Packers relied on their defense, which meant Reggie White, number 92. White recorded 2 fourth-quarter sacks, the second coming when he muscled by rookie tackle Wayne Gandy, number 70. The Rams' last hope flew from the anxious arm of Miller into the waiting arms of Green Bay's Lenny McGill. The Packer offense has matured quickly after a shaky start and has this week off. While Buddy Ryan's boasting made headlines outside Texas Stadium, inside it was his quarterbacks who would be turning right to the help wanted section after serving up 5 interceptions for the Cowboys, who efficiently converted them into an early 21-point advantage.
Aikman, play fake again, flips it right to Johnston at the goal line, and he steps in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Aikman pump, throws it in the end zone. Ball is caught. Michael Irvin caught it for the touchdown.
The Cowboys' attack never slowed down as they put an exclamation point on their dominating performance.
12 brings it left at the 25. There's a hole. 35. 2 to 40. 45. The kicker to beat left sideline. 30 and he's bringing it. 20 and he's home. 5 and it's a touchdown for Kevin Williams.
As Dallas ran Buddy Ball out of town, the Cowboys improved to 4-1 and hope for another thumbs-up performance this weekend as they prepare to host a soaring Eagles squad, who took the field looking for their 4th straight victory against Washington. And it was the fleet legs of Randall Cunningham that broke the ice.
He's dropped, he's rolling, he's directing traffic, he's going to run, he has the first down, he's at the 10, he's at the 5. Randall Cunningham is in for the touchdown.
Cunningham's arm was deadly as well as he hooked up with Fred Barnett for a 49-yard connection.
Running down the sideline, Barnett. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Arkansas Fred.
But a couple of Redskin rookies remained undaunted.
They're showing blitz. Here they come. He's back. The protection's there. Just as he's hit, he throws it. Winans running catch at the 5. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Rookie to rookie for the second time tonight.
Trailing by 4, Heath Schuler had one last chance to rain on Philadelphia's parade. But the Eagles' defense once again rose to the occasion.
Schuler is back. He pumps. He is firing deep, and it is intercepted! And a marvelous athletic play.
With victories secured, the Eagles now zero in on an NFC East showdown Sunday in Dallas. The season against Seattle. All week, Denver's much-maligned defense practiced stripping the ball, and the Seahawks gladly cooperated with 5 turnovers.
Fumbles the ball. It's on the ground, and Reggie Rivers is scrambling for it. They're still scrambling for it inside the 20-yard line.
John Elway's naked bootleg in the second quarter was the only touchdown of the entire game.
Elway's going to roll to the right. He can run it in, and he's going to. Elway runs it in from the right side.
Elway and the Broncos narrowly avoided a 5th straight loss, but have little time to rejoice. Monday night, they'll face the frustrated and angry Kansas City Chiefs, who last Sunday became the 5th victim of the surprise team of the year, the undefeated San Diego Chargers. An aggressive defense undressed the Chiefs. Despite an extra week to bounce back from his first career shutout, Joe Montana was befuddled by San Diego's zone coverages.
It's really something special, isn't it? San Diego's defense really playing some great ball against the likes of Joe Montana.
If the forecast was cloudy for Montana's offense, the outlook was plain bleak for KC's defense, thanks to Natrone Means, a 245-pound twister whose spin move left one of the best linebackers in the game grabbing thin air, not a sky blue jersey. The Means machine punished his opponent with 125 yards in his 8th straight game, scoring a touchdown.
Keeps going, touchdown, San Diego! The end train, Natrone Means on a counter score. Guess who's going to be 5-0? San Diego. Yo, baby. This stadium is going crazy.
And the Murph was rocking with reason. After one of the biggest games in a young season, it's the home of the only unbeaten team in the National Football League. This week, their 5 wins could easily become 6 for the newly respected Chargers visit New Orleans and the cellar-dwelling Saints, who pranced into Soldier Field last week only to be humiliated by disastrous special teams.
Barnhart will punt it away, and they're going to fake it, throw it, incomplete. It hits Lumpkin in the head.
A botched fake punt and a pair of blocked field goals contributed to the Saints' demise.
Barnhart down on one knee. Here's the snap. Placement down. The kick is blocked on the play. Blocked on the play. Picked up by Carrier. He takes it on the right side of the 20. To the 25-40, 35-40, right sideline, 45 to the 50. He cuts the
Number 20, Mark Carrier's alertness, while everyone around him seemed content to watch, resulted in a 54-yard kick return. It was the catalyst that broke open the game.
Conway and Graham. Harris and Tillman are split wide behind the quarterback Walsh, who's straight back to throw. Swings the right side of the end zone. Touchdown! Oh, what a pass by Steve Walsh! He threaded the needle inside.
A pair of free agent newcomers sparked Dave Wanstad's team. Steve Walsh won his 3rd straight start, and Lewis Tillman reached the century mark rushing. Tillman's touchdown sealed the game, while Walsh exacted revenge against his former club. In a struggle between 2 up-and-down teams, the Bears are up, alone atop their division. The battered Saints are at the bottom of theirs and entertain the unbeaten Chargers on Sunday. Coming up, highlights of the 4-time AFC champion Buffalo Bills and a look at Hall of Famer Bud Grant.
Raiders, 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 Raiders.
You got him, let's take it. Damn it, hit the wedge, dog. The wedge hit you. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
While the Patriots weren't singing the Raiders' tune, they did find the beat.
Busting them in the mouth. Hey, don't nobody like to get hit that much. Just keep have it, Drew.
If Drew Bledsoe is the NFL's version of the natural, the Raiders' defense is just naturally opportunistic.
You're natural, baby. Come on now. Get ready, get ready.
Right comes Timpson. Bledsoe on first down to throw. Near side, intercepted, touchdown for the LA Raiders. Reading it like an open book.
Despite Terry McDaniel's 3 picks, the Pats were unfazed.
Hey, you gotta get 7, baby. Need 7.
Coaches the tight end right, the back split behind Bledsoe. Raiders with a 5-man defensive front. Both corner linebackers are up. Back to throw Bledsoe over the middle. Touchdown for Kevin
2
Turner.
Bledsoe touchdown passes gave the Patriots a 17-7 lead. If Jeff Hostetler can't match Bledsoe in statistics, he can in savvy.
Hostetler dumps it off. Harvey Williams over the middle. 25-20, 15-10. He'll take it the distance. Touchdown Raiders.
All we got to do is keep making plays. We make some plays, we got a chance, baby.
Got a 3rd and goal just outside of the 3. And here we go. Hostetler, quarterback draw, calls his own number, dives in for the touchdown.
Hostetler's draw gave the Raiders a 21-17 advantage, but Bledsoe has a knack for keeping the Patriots in any game. And thanks to another 300-yard day, he had New England poised for the win.
Again. Can they do it? Butt goes airborne. He does not get in. He loses the ball. The fumble at the 1. But the Raiders take over. The Raiders get it back.
He hit the ground for that.
No, sir. Coach told me no while he was in the air. No, sir. His head wasn't head and shoulders were. His head and shoulders were. He reached out. He reached out, sir. You didn't see it? You're wrong. You're wrong. He reached out. Hey, you'll see it 5-4.
Bill Parcells' argument fell on deaf ears, but the Patriots are hoping they don't fall on hard times, while the Raiders square off against another pretty quarterback in Dan Marino and the Dolphins this Sunday in Miami. If you think snowboarding on a trampoline is an odd combo, you've obviously never seen the Colts play the Jets at the Meadowlands, where the last two meetings have produced 31 total points and a multitude of mishaps. Last week was more of the same. In this futility fest, the Colts did succeed at one thing, dragging the Jets down to their own level. In the fourth quarter, the Jets mustered the will to go 1 yard.
Play action fake, dumps it left corner, touchdown, wide open Mitchell, and that'll do it.
Jets fans could finally scream for their team rather than at them. The Colts face more hometown hollers this week in Buffalo.
Game day programs right here. Come on, you look like a game day reader. Get your program. Get your program. Oh, we got pictures for the ones that can't read. You know, we got color pictures for the ones that can't see.
Certain NFL matchups need no introduction, such as the two regular season meetings between the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. AFC East showdowns that usually have Super Bowl implications. No buts about it. This matchup always matters. After a bruising beginning last week in Buffalo, both teams licked their respective wounds and reviewed their respective strategies.
Just a different kind of pad over it? Just stick it on with an adhesive foam? Yeah. Sure? But don't wrap anything on it.
I'm fine.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, unless, take what you got inside, unless it's nothing there, and then...
No problem.
Here's a handoff. Parmalee runs for 5, for 10, turns the corner, gets to midfield, down the sideline.
As the contest moved into phase 2, Buffalo began to dominate.
He just got hit by Bruce Smith. Look at his eyes.
The fact is, Dan Marino wasn't sacked all day. And despite some incredible pass-catching efforts, Miami's usually potent offense could not drive the ball into the end zone until late in the final period, when the outcome had already been decided.
Back has time, he throws, and it is incomplete. So the Bills take over and will kill the clock, I would assume.
Swirling winds intervened on Miami's best scoring threat. And in period 3, those same Buffalo breezes helped shape preparations for the game's crucial turning point.
Expect the ball to hang up a little bit. Stay in your lanes now till you see where it's going, and get off the blocks. Run like crazy. Everything may happen faster if the ball does hang up short in the wind, all right?
One goes high, another very good hang time. McDuffie at the 21, runs to the 25, fumbles the ball. Oh, it's loose. It's loose. I don't know. We'll wait down at the 25-yard line. Bills may have it. The Bills, I believe, have the ball.
On the very next play, Buffalo squished the fish.
Gives it to Thurman. He bangs it up the middle, breaks a tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5. He is in for the touchdown. Thurman Thomas has scored.
time Buffalo loses a football game, Bills bashers predict the end of this AFC dynasty. And yet here they come, rolling on through all the wannabes. 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances on their resumes, currently on a drive for 5. A team that knows how to win big games.
Takes the snap. Here's a running play and a reverse to Reed. Reed at the 30, at the 25, at the 20. Kelly threw a block out there. At the 15, at the 10, at the 5, and he is shoved out of bounds. They put it at the 6-yard line. Here he comes to the right. Davis trying to get in there. He drives and he is in for the touchdown.
Hats off to Buffalo, true champions who keep football seasons in proper perspective.
We didn't give you a very good one.
Well, we've got to play again. I know the thing. Good luck, man.
37.5% of the season is over, so there's a long way to go. But it was a very important victory for us. It always is when you play Miami. The outcome of the game is always real important.
Hopefully when we go down there, we can beat them, and hopefully they'll have to come up here for the AFC Championship or sometime during the playoffs. But we're not looking ahead. We got to play the Colts next week, and that's we need.
This week on Inside the NFL, Arizona coach Buddy Ryan taught his Cardinals what Yogi Berra always preached, that it ain't over till it's over.
I think we found out that we can win under any kind of odds, that we just got to keep going at it. And we can tell those fans here that they started singing just a little early.
San Francisco corner Deion Sanders put on a show in the house that he built.
I visualize me running down that sideline, high-stepping, looking over at the bench, teasing him a little bit. I visualize things like that.
And former Patriots and 49ers tight end Russ Francis, a free spirit who lasted 14 years in the NFL.
I want to taste life, feel life, smell life, and experience life. And I think the only way to do that is to get out in the middle of life and do it for yourself instead of standing on the sidelines and watching.
And now, the show the pros watch, Inside the NFL, with your host, Lando. Last Sunday, the Chargers were looking for their 8th straight win dating back to last season and their best start since 1961. They earned both by scoring on their first 7 possessions.
15 to the 10 to the 5, he scores! Touchdown!
3 touchdowns by Natron Means and 5 John Carney field goals kept the Chargers' perfect record intact. Having lost their 3rd game at home, the Saints will try to rebound this week against division rival Los Angeles. The Rams were in a fighting spirit last Sunday when they hosted the Giants, but both sides of this matchup proved to be packing some punch. Chris Miller was knocked down, but not out of sync as he found Isaac Bruce for a 19-yard score.
He fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Isaac Bruce!
A 7-point lead was good, but nothing to brag about, especially since the Giants responded with a touchdown of their own.
Giants in a tight formation. Brown takes the snap, gives for Hampton. He's got the first down and more to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Giants!
The Giants would cross the goal line only once this game, however, so Miller's second scoring toss was enough to decide the win.
He fires down the middle. Troy Drayton with the catch. Did he come up with it? Yes! Touchdown!
With the loss, the Giants, once 3-0, have now dropped 3 straight. Dan Reeves will try to stop the continuing downfall of his team this week when New York hosts Pittsburgh. Last week in Pittsburgh, Bill Cowher tried to sell enthusiasm.
Big day now. It's going best day yet for you.
As his Steelers face the hapless but not hopeless Bengals.
Relax, you have fun, and play one play at a time. Don't worry about the last one. You hear me? Just play football like you can play football. It's fun.
Here we go, hey, listen now. We're going to get them in as soon as possible, but understand we're trying to match it up with personnel. So we're going to, we'll try to get it into you as quick as possible.
Zone automatic, coach.
Hey, watch it. It's not when it's 0 points on the board now.
No points on the board was a result of no protection from the Bengals' number 94, Alfred the Condor Williams.
Get 2 bracket people out there. I want that mother bracket.
Back to throw O'Donnell and eludes one man, but cannot elude the
bracket. He's made more plays today. We can't block him. You understand me?
Bengals are coming. He's hit again. Eighth time today that he's been sacked. And this time it's Alfred Williams, and that is his fourth of the afternoon.
The Condors' wings were finally clipped by number 65 tackle John Jackson.
Pittsburgh first and goal at the 13. O'Donnell drops the throw into the end zone for Williams. Caught it. Touchdown.
That's a hell of a block. That's a hell of a block. It's the way to go. It's the way to run. Job.
With ample protection, Neil O'Donnell delivered again for a 14-0 lead.
O'Donnell back to throw. Throws into the end zone. Caught. Ernie Mills was as wide open as I-470.
Too much rest is rust, however, and thanks to a ruse, the idea of a Bengals win was no longer a joke.
Placed down and moving. It's a fake. The hand comes inside, spinning to the goal line and scoring.
That's stupid on our part. That's stupid on our part. We are playing good right now on defense. I want to make sure you understand that. Hey, listen, but you can't control that, Greg. You can't control what took place. The one thing we can't control is for the next quarter and a half is dominate their ass. I know. You can't control. And don't let that dwindle into the next play, because if you start thinking about it and dwelling on it, it'll multiply. But we need you two guys to play with emotion, play with enthusiasm, and keep the confidence. Bring us off the corner, Coach. I got you. Dog rush? Bring it. I know, you can't control it now. I mean, don't worry about it. The worst thing you can do is start thinking about it now. It's a natural thing. And you can't control what just took place. We cannot go back in time. You can't twitch your nose and say, okay, it's going back. Just forget about it now. Let's go. I like this, Rod. I'm telling you, if you want to be a championship team, defense has to win sometimes. They can always be pretty on offense. Yep.
Powers' impassioned plea for defense was answered in kind by a savage Steelers stand.
Back to throw. He's being blitzed. Fumbles the football. It is on the ground. Pile up for the ball back at the 31-yard line. Wingler has given it up. Pittsburgh has the football.
That's what I'm talking about right now. That's it. That's a big-time play. That's why I wanted you to do it, man. That's our first close football game this year. And you can look at the chart. It's the first one that's been decided with less than 10 points. I'm going to tell you something. You got to win games like this. Now, I don't know how you get it done, whether it's special teams, whether it's offense or defense, you find a way to get it done. And I'll tell you what, that's something to learn from. That's something to build from. And right now, you're at 4-2, and next week, we travel east to New York in our continual stride. We're one game behind Cleveland, baby. Good job, man. Good job.
Loss in Big D.
Showdown in T-Town. Another showdown.
Stadium on a mile-high holy night. After this.
A fanfare heralded the meeting between two of the NFL's best teams and running backs, past, present, and future.
Have you met Charlie? Nah, I ain't met. What's up? Man, you doing okay? Yeah. Doing okay? Yeah. Take yourself out there, man. I mean, no matter if we're on 17s or not, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. And if you are hurt, I want you to protect yourself anyway. Just out of sake, man. Hell, we all human out here. We trying to do the same thing. Let's play a game and do our job. That's it. But have fun out there, man. Just don't run too much. All right?
All right, women and children, close your eyes, baby. This one ain't gonna be pretty. Come strongly, don't come at all.
Got blue on, hit it. It's got blue on, we're gonna hit it.
Whoever wins the war in the line is gonna win this game.
Guess we're gonna have to show them how football is supposed to be played today. Right here in Texas Stadium. Gonna send them on back to Philadelphia, back into all that bad weather, ugly stadium.
At stake, the NFC East lead as Dallas looked to make the resurgent Eagles their 10th straight division victim.
Stay with your blocks, downfield numbers. Everybody together, one for all. Run in!
The return, Seidman. He backs up. He takes it to the 18. Comes across the 20. Steps over a man at the 25. At the 30. At the 35-40. Breaks loose at the 50. And he's tackled from behind at the Dallas 40.
Hey, didn't I tell Jeff he was going to return one to the 40? He put it right on the 40.
No, he hands it off to James Joseph. And those fakes. Randall Cunningham with a great fake. Nice play. Goes to Walker at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, 5. Herschel Walker is knocked out of bounds. No, he's in. He's in. Great fake. Great call. Great fake. Nice pass. Oh, come on!
Smith was smothered and Aikman ached, but as champions always do, the Cowboys looked within themselves and found a way to win.
Come on, need to hustle our ass on the field, get in the damn huddle, call a play, come off and bust these in the mouth. It's enough of this bullshit right here. Defense out there playing their ass off early, and we put them in this kind of bad position.
They hiked up their pants and went right to work.
That Garbage motion right, blitz is fake. Aikman fakes the swing, throws it in the end zone. Alvin Harper is all alone for the touchdown. Whoa, boy. That pump fake.
Against the NFL's #1 defense, running lanes disappeared, as did Randall Cunningham. In another big game when he was needed the most, Randall was indecisive, tossing 4 drive-killing interceptions.
Aikman back, looking to his right, standing, throws it to Novacek, touchdown to the post.
This week, the Eagles will gear up for the other Texas team, the struggling Oilers, with a December rematch with Dallas in the back of their minds. While the Cleveland Browns concentrated on shattering Houston's offense, the Oilers were concentrating on one question. Warren Moon isn't around anymore, so it was up to Bucky Joe Carlson, Billy Joe Tolliver, to try and wake up Houston. However, the Browns' defense put the big sleep on the Oilers' offense, and Cleveland's offense showed enough life to put Houston away.
Throws left side complete to Carrier. Carrier gets away at the 10 to the 5, and he dives into the end zone.
Vinny Testaverde may win ugly, but he does keep winning, and the Browns hope for another W against Cincinnati this week. Joe Namath has enjoyed many moments in the sun, finding a place in football history. And if the Patriots' Drew Bledsoe can find his place at the line of scrimmage, he just might join him.
Bledsoe to throw, looking, fires, end zone, touchdown! Ray Crittenden!
However, the Jets' defense dominated the league's #1 offense. New York's pass rush kept Bledsoe on the turf, causing 4 turnovers. On offense, Brad Baxter led the way with 2 touchdown runs.
Esiason hands to Baxter. Big hole left side. Touchdown. Brad.
The Jets have this week off to enjoy their 2 straight wins and a healthy Boomer Esiason. With a papal-like presence returning to Denver, the Broncos hope for some truly divine intervention to right their errant ways. Early on, it was John Elway who saw the light and then found salvation with his receivers in the end zone.
Here's Elway, fades back, takes the quick set, passes toward the end zone. It's caught! Touchdown! And I believe Jerry Evans was even interfered with. Jerry Evans.
But at times, this road to Babylon seemed to get sidetracked through Sodom and Gomorrah, where Kansas City's defense rained fire and brimstone on the Broncos' quarterback. Elway was sacked 6 times as Neil Smith and the Chiefs had their own quest to smite an 11-game losing streak at Mile High, the only stadium where Joe Montana had never won. And despite a banged-up body, Montana threw touchdowns to receivers that ranged from the David-like proportions of J.J. Burton to his Goliath lineman, Joe Valerio. Denver retaliated when Elway's 4-yard touchdown run late in the 4th appeared to secure a Broncos victory and ensure that Marty Schottenheimer's streak of futility in Denver would continue. But the chosen son on this evening turned out to be wearing a white uniform. And with 89 seconds remaining, Montana was poised to move his team 75 yards to the promised land.
First and goal to go at the 6, 13 seconds left in the game. He puts Walker in motion. Montana takes the snap, back to throw, looking right, firing a pass set, a leaping grab, Willie Davis, touchdown Kansas City! Willie Davis made the catch, curled inside the right pylon,
Montana's 393-yard passing performance may signal a genesis in the Chiefs' Super Bowl aspirations. Kansas City hopes not to take Seattle sitting down this Sunday at Arrowhead. Coming up, highlights of Atlanta's burning loss and another look at Deion, the game's most exciting player. With smash-mouth toughness of a defensive lineman. Appropriately in Miami, it was an offensive player who made the big hit. Bernie Parmalee grounded the Rocket and would go on to rush for 150 yards. But turnabout is fair play, and the Raiders' defense decided to play a little offense.
Hicks get out of the backfield, fumbles, picked up over the far side, Smith. 15, 10, 5, touchdown Raiders.
The Dolphin defense, led by number 51 Brian Cox, turned up the heat on Jeff Hostetler. While Cox was knocking down his own teammates, Hoss was being helped to his feet by his. On the sideline, the frustrated Hoss locked horns with Coach Shell, who promptly replaced him with Vince Evans.
Don't tell me Vince Evans is taking over at this juncture. There is total confusion for the Raiders.
Unfortunately, the results were the same. Even worse for L.A., Dan Marino and company got their game in gear.
It's complete for a touchdown to Keith Jackson. Man, oh man, oh man.
But the Raiders seemed to thrive on controversy, and true to script, Hoss returned to put the Raiders back on top by 7.
Touchdown, Tim Brown. What a grab.
However, Marino read the script and rewrote the ending.
He throws for Myers. Keith Myers makes the catch. Touchdown, Dolphins.
Myers' touchdown catch tied the game and set the stage for an overtime field goal try to win it all.
And it is good! Yes! Pete Stoyanovich hits a 30.
The Dolphins are in first place in the AFC East, while the Raiders will try to regroup this week at home against the Falcons.
In a world of giants, there can only stand one. Today is a true test.
Finally, somebody realizes more to this game than just me and Deion.
True, this was a showdown for first place in the NFC West, but there was no denying that the main attraction Sunday in Atlanta was the humble return of Deion Sanders, who wasted no time giving his former fans their money's worth in the day's main event matchup.
Rising down to the left here against Deion one-on-one.
Let's go, Rising! Yeah! Come on! Let's do it!
Jeff George draw play to Ironhead up the middle, and he tried to... here's Rising and Sanders going at it. It's a fight. They were throwing punches. Flags fly. Oh, baby. Oh, they were throwing haymakers at each other.
Deion was punching, busted Rising nose. Went right underneath his helmet. They're going to have to throw them both out. They threw either one of them out.
Actually, neither player was ejected, but Deion was penalized for his part in the second quarter scuffle, which set the tone for an early 49er knockout.
They give it to Hayward. Tries to go up there to bust the ball. 49ers pick it up, should run it back to McDonald. He's down to the 20, 15, 10, 5. They got a shot at him. He beats him into the end zone. Touchdown 49ers on the fumble recovery.
While the sloppy Falcons turned the ball over 6 times, the precise 49ers never looked better. Just 2 weeks after getting pulled from an embarrassing loss to the Eagles, Steve Young was as sharp as ever, completing 15 of 16 passes for 4 touchdowns, including 2 to Ricky Waters.
Come on, let's show some character. Take this thing right now, show some heart, and show some character. Yeah.
At the end of the first half, the game's main attraction simply stole the show.
And he throws, intercepted. Is he inbounds? Deion down the right side. Yes, he's to the 50. They can't stop him. He can high step this one half the field. He waits to the 10 though and walks into the end zone. Does another dance. Touchdown 49ers. An incredible interception touchdown.
Jeff George was playing stare down over there, and Deion played his eyes perfectly.
Yes, the prodigal, radical, unpredictable son of Atlanta had returned, and he made sure every Falcon got a good, long look. And though he would sit out the rest of the game with a pulled groin, it was fitting that in the Georgia Dome, a house Deion proclaims he built, he also brought it down on Sunday.
Oh, my goodness. What a play. Hollywood script. No kidding.
Hey, let me tell you something. You couldn't have wrote that better in a script. See what I'm saying? Prime time's house, still. Good.
Hey, Deion, is that a cramp or cool? That's a snipe foot. I'm cool.
After reacquainting themselves with Atlanta, Deion and the first-place 49ers hope to embrace another win this Sunday against Tampa Bay.
Things really because I'm my own man. I call my own shots. And I always call my own shots. And people hate that. And I'm not, you could call me conceited, cocky, confident. I'm convinced that I'm a bad boy out there on that field and in business and in life.
Deion Sanders is without question the ultimate image of the modern professional athlete. A superstar by merit and a celebrity by both design and acclaim. He is flamboyant, outspoken, controversial, rich, and famous. A two-sport megastar who has rapidly become his own multimedia corporation. Yet this rise has not come without cost, because there are critics out there who actually resent his image and his attitude that the world of sports is not a game, but a business, and an entree into an entirely different world where the idea of outrageousness and flash are assets.
The thing about it, I don't care. I don't care what another man or woman thinks about me.
It's that independent attitude that let Sanders fly to Hollywood on his day off and shoot a music video with Hammer. Instead of resting the groin he injured Sunday against the Falcons, Sanders hired a masseuse, brought her on the set, and primetime danced, rapped, and savored the thrill of beating his old teammates.
This is what I wanted. This is how I wanted it to be. I want them to feel for me not being there, feel for all the trash that they talked that whole week. I just wanted them to feel what they've lost. I visualized me running down that sideline, high-stepping, looking over at the bench to tease them a little bit. I visualized things like that.
What Deion didn't visualize was the Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas-like fight he had with his close friend, Falcon receiver Andre Rison.
I was so keyed up to beat them and to really play a great game against them that Andre and I really got into it, which really was uncalled for.
Jewelry, dancing, rapping, his allegiance to Nike, and now fighting. Just more ammunition for his critics.
I have many critics, but a couple guys have stood out. From the rest, and a couple of them. There's even more. I might have to add Terry Bradshaw to that list. The crap I heard he's been talking lately, man, don't even know me.
Many of Sanders' critics may not know him, but that hasn't prevented a perception to grow by media and fans alike that Deion's antics sometimes alienate him from his teammates.
I love my teammates to death now, and I think it's the feeling's mutual.
That sentiment appears to be true. Even Jerry Rice, a quiet leader of the 49ers, has been grateful for Sanders' winning contribution.
Jerry's a great guy. You got to think about it. This is a guy who I had some fierce battles with on the field, and throughout those battles you get a perception of one another.
Now that the two All-Pros are on the same side, the perception has developed into a mutual appreciation and respect.
We talk football a lot. I watch him practice, and I think he watches me at certain times. Things we want to do, and angles I want to see what he's trying to do to me. And we go one-on-one every once in a while, and Jerry's a bad boy. He's the best.
And being the best is what drives Deion and what led him to his new team.
I joined the San Francisco 49ers because I felt that they were the best team to present me with the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. You can be a great player, you could be great, you could be a great citizen, a great human being. But if you don't win, you don't win. They don't remember that. They remember winners. And when it's all said and done, I want to be known as a winner with that ring.
And if Deion Sanders can make his own star shine while trying to get that ring, then so be it. On Primetime's agenda, there clearly are no days off.
Indianapolis Colts playing at Buffalo's Rich Stadium has been an out-of-body experience. They can't find a body to put on the Bills' shifty running backs.
Davis, yes, they do. To the left, he follows his left guard, gets into the 5, spins into the end zone for the touchdown.
But last week, the Colts returned from the ethereal and met the real world head-on. Quarterback Jim Harbaugh showed shades of Sammy Baugh, slinging the pigskin for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. When Harbaugh left with an injury, he was replaced by Don Majkowski, who showed on his first pass that he still has a little magic left up his right sleeve.
Right corner of the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown! Majkowski.
The Colts won for the first time in Buffalo since 1987 and return home to meet the Redskins this week.
Let's put a little tape on, getting ready for today's game. You know what they say about Buddy? I forgot what they said about Buddy.
We got to stop that buddy ball. Smash everybody in the mouth. Take the running backs to the stands. Run up in the stands and slap their mama.
There you go, baby. Look here. We come here to do a job. Hey, no ifs, ands, buts about it. We know what we got to do. Hard week of work. Hey, let's not go home empty, baby. Let's kick that ass. Let's go, baby. Cardinals. 1, 2, 3. Cardinals. Let's go.
Arizona and Washington talked a good game for a couple of teams with only 1 win apiece. And early on, the Cardinals looked like they were more bark than bite.
Schuler to pass. Blitz is on. Dumps it over the middle to Mitchell. Breaks it at the 40. Far side 30. Cuts up the middle of the seam to the 20. The 15 to the 10. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Let's stop buddy ball. We want to stop buddy ball today. Stop buddy ball. Send buddy ball back to Arizona.
Throws it in the near side. Picked off. Darrell Green. He's gone. Defense scores. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Washington jumped out to a 14-0 first half lead.
It's our game. We're going to take this one home, baby. We're getting on that roll. We're getting on that roll. Get on that roll right now. Glory to God, baby. Not to me. They don't have a quarterback. They're losers. They're absolute losers. They've got to have a quarterback.
The Cardinals roster reads like a who's who of NFL journeymen, but they still have a couple of players with some spring in their step. Arizona threatened to tie the game late in the fourth quarter.
Here's a snap. Ryan drops in, sets and looks and throws. It is caught. Is it? Intercepted in the end zone. And I thought Cole had it.
He did have it, and then Grant pulled it out. That should have been a touchdown.
Touchdown. That's
Strip and pulled it down.
It's touchdown. Good shot. Good shot. Yeah. Get your hands together here, guys.
Let's
One
go.
time. You don't know what to do. Is any doubt? Is there any doubt?
Win on 3.
1, 2, 3. Win.
In overtime, Arizona did just that.
Throws it to the left side. It is intercepted. At the 15. Hog is on the 12-yard line.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
30-yarder is all he needs. Come on, baby. Come on. His heart's got to be pounding a mile a minute. Snap back, ball down. Kick is up. The time's long. It is.
Proud of all of you, both sides of the ball. Special teams went down, made the play when you had to make one. I think we learned a lot. I think we found out that we can win under any kind of odds, that we just got to keep going at it. And we can tell those fans here that they started singing just a little early.
Tight end from the 70s and 80s. Well, he's still flying high.
I love flying. It's a passion for me. Being in the air, so is skydiving. A lot of people say, well, gee, those are kind of crazy things to do, and I don't look at it that way at all. I look at it from the standpoint that I'm curious about life. I want to taste life, feel life, smell life, and experience life. And I think the only way to do that is to get out in the middle of life and do it for yourself instead of standing on the sidelines and watching.
That was the Russ Francis style throughout his career with the Patriots and 49ers. He marched to his own rhythm back then, even if it sometimes offended coaches, fans, and other players.
I had a couple of favorite ideas that I thought would transform the rules and regulations of football. One thing is to test every linebacker before every game with a saliva test, to make sure they didn't have rabies. And secondly, I thought every defensive player, if their IQs were just a few points lower, they could all be classified as geraniums. Got me in a lot of trouble.
After Russ retired for good in 1989, he floundered for a while in Montana before returning to his college town of Eugene, Oregon to go back to school.
I decided to go back to college and work towards my master's degree in journalism. It's been slowed down a great deal from the standpoint of a radio show that I'm doing in Oregon, but I'm chipping away at it slowly so that I can learn about what I'm doing now, which is broadcasting.
Russ, man, you're riding in style tonight.
It's the only way to come to a game, man. The 50-yard indoor war. Got to ride in on the Harley with my guys.
Russ does arena football game analysis for ESPN2, as well as 2 radio shows a day for KUGN in Eugene.
We'll talk about the major sports. We talk about recreation like kayaking, skydiving, mountain climbing, all the things that take place in the Northwest.
Well, Russ, where were you when I was trying to convince my coaches at Oregon to leave me at tight end?
I was surfing off the northwest coast of Africa in Morocco.
Russ is a different kind of personality. I find that Russ, excuse me, sir.
Russ still sees old teammates at various functions, but he'd rather be outdoors, away from the crowds.
I spend a great deal of time with my son, Michael, and I see a lot of myself in him. He has a great zest for life. We do a lot of things together. He'll be out kayaking soon. He wants to skydive soon, and can already do a better loop in an airplane than I can.
Whatever young Michael Francis chooses to try in life, he can pretty much count on his dad, Russ, being able to teach him how from his own experience.